Tanner Scott's struggles continue. The Dodgers offense cold tonight. LA loses in extra innings. We'll hear from Dave Roberts, Dustin May. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live / the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Tommy Tanks strikes again, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. Gibby! Meet Freddie! Ohtani sends one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. Gone! One-of-a-kind player. One-of-a-kind season.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers lose to the New York Mets by a final score of 4-3 in extra innings. They drop to 36-24 on the year, now just a game up on the San Diego Padres in the National League West. The Padres beating the Giants today 1-0 up in San Francisco, and it was a game where Dustin May really achieved a lot tonight. I mean, this is the most innings he's ever pitched in a season now after tonight. The game starts, and he gives it the home run to Francisco Lindor on the second pitch of the game. But we'll talk more about May's outing in a little bit. I mean, he pitched well enough, gave this team a chance to win, gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 6 innings of work through 88 pitches. Jack Dreyer was great. Gave up no runs, no hits. Lou Trevino was really good. But the story tonight is Tanner Scott once again. And it's Tanner, not so great Scott. And I think when you look at his body of work this season, and yes, I have defended him. I have said that I think the Dodgers will still be able to get value out of him just because the stuff hasn't looked as bad and as far off as we saw last year in San Diego. But the truth of the matter is the results are not there. And my biggest takeaway from tonight is the last thing I want to hear Dave Roberts say is we're just going to keep throwing Tanner Scott out there and trusting him in high leverage situations. We're just going to throw Tanner Scott out there every single 8th inning, every single 9th inning, every single 10th inning, and expect that to be the appearance that turns things around for Tanner Scott. Because I think what you're doing is you're making it where it's harder for him to get back to the guy that he was. I think you're making it where he is in his head a little bit. The confidence is taking a hit. And the reason for that is because just look at the results and who it's coming against. Against the Guardians. I mean, you're talking about not their best hitters, right? You look at tonight. Who was it against? Tanner Scott goes in there. It's a tie game, 10th inning. And Alvarez, Francisco Alvarez, a below average hitter, a catcher, he comes up and he doesn't single. He gets a double. And that double scored Acuna to give the Mets a 3-2 lead. And then the very next batter, Lindor, falls behind the count 2-0. Then the third pitch of the at-bat, 4-seamer, bottom of the zone, and Lindor singled to left. And then he generates another run. That scored Marte, and it makes it a 4-2 game. And the Dodgers, they couldn't come back. The offense wasn't good. We'll talk about the offense. And yes, you should have done more for this Dodgers offense tonight. There's no doubt about that. They did not perform up to their expectations, their level of play. We know they can perform a lot better. They go a combined 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. You're going up against a pitcher that you think that you should have a lot of success against in Pete Blackburn. It was his first start of the season for the Mets. Missed over 2 months on the IL with right knee inflammation. He gave up just 3 singles and a walk in 5 scoreless innings, had 3 strikeouts. So the Dodgers offense, they didn't show up. But the biggest takeaway is we know that, look, this is a sport where even, I mean, look at yesterday. The top 4 in the lineup go hitless for the first time all season. Today, they didn't, outside of Shohei Ohtani, got the big home run, 23rd of the year. Andy Paz comes through clutch. It was nice to see Ha-Seong Kim get another hit. I mean, there were some good things to take away from the performance offensively. At the end of the day, you didn't score enough runs against a starting pitcher that you should have. You were able to out-hit the Mets 9-8, but for most of this game, you had really done nothing. And you look at this lineup, they should do more. You got 2 hits from Freddie, you got hit from Teo, you got a hit from Ohtani, which was a home run, and the 2 RBIs. But when Shohei, in a 2-hit game from Kim, I mean, a 2-hit game from Ha-Seong Kim, we'll talk more about that in a minute. But when Shohei Ohtani did not get the walk-off, when Shohei Ohtani came so close to ending things in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it was great. He got the sacrifice fly. That scored Tommy Edman to tie things at 2. But the second that did not happen, you felt like, oh no, Tanner Scott's coming in, and you're very concerned. And that is not a feeling that you want. You want the feeling of your closer to be like, uh-oh, good things are happening. Not, uh-oh, I'm hearing the Jaws theme. Dun-dun, dun-dun. And it feels like something bad's about to happen. And that's how it feels with Tanner Scott out there on the mound. And look, this wasn't a blown save because he didn't have a lead. He entered in a tie game, but you give up a couple of runs, a couple of hits. Yes, of course, the Manfred man isn't an earned run, but he's given up multiple runs in 4 of his last 8 appearances. And in that stretch, since May 20th, Tanner Scott has given up 12 runs, 10 earned on 13 hits with 3 walks in those situations. So the big issues for Tanner Scott are still the same issues that we've seen all season long. Go up against Francisco Alvarez. You fall behind the count early. I mean, that first pitch, I mean, he would just miss badly with that slider. A non-competitive pitch with the tying run at second. That's your first pitch with the tying run at second in a big situation, a big moment to get some confidence, to start to earn the trust of the manager, of the coaching staff, of your teammates, of this fan base. And your first pitch is a yanked, pulled slider, and you're falling behind the count. And the second pitch, you have that slider in the zone, you miss a little bit, gets fouled off, and then you say, okay, let's go 4-seam fastball. The velocity is down almost 1 mile per hour on his heater. And the margin for error is just not there. When he's missing in the zone, he's missing in the hitting zone, and there are very hittable pitches. He's not fooling anyone. He's not fooling anyone. I almost feel like there's going to be a Scooby-Doo match. You rip it off, and it's Craig Kimbrell. But I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to get concerned. And I know I was one of the only dudes that was backing up Tanner Scott. But at this point, I think I'm one of those guys that's big on don't present a problem unless you have a solution. I think the solution right now is he has to be used in lower leverage situations to build his confidence back up, to see the stuff get better, to see the velocity hopefully have an uptick, to see him get better feel for that slider. I think for him, this is someone that he's staying too in the zone with his stuff. When his stuff is at its best, he can get swing and miss and generate whiffs out of the zone. Right now, he is trying to just throw that slider, casting it in there, throwing it in there like a dart, just praying that it falls in the zone for a strike. When he's full bore and he's going with that slider, it's fooling guys. And you're seeing nasty swing and misses. You're just not seeing that right now. The velocity is down. I mean, the good thing, he has been healthy, so he's pitched a lot. But it is definitely a major concern. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your Tanner Scott concern level? Let me know down below in the comment section. Because right now, I mean, we're early in the season. We're in June. I mean, we're not that early. But in the grand scheme of things, when you factor in October, there is still a lot of time for him to figure things out. I still think he has the stuff to do that. I think that at this point, it's a fair question, though, with just the way things are adding up for him, if that's taking his toll, if that's taking its toll on his psyche. Because, look, let's be honest. We've seen some big-time turnarounds for this team this year. Andy Pages, everyone thought he was going to be shipped down to OKC, traded for a bucket of baseballs and a half-eaten bag of Cheetos. He turns out to be a guy that is a fringe all-star, one of the best defensive players at his position. Max Muncy, hey, all right, send him with Austin Barnes and Chris Taylor. Get him the heck out of here. Last month, he's been one of the best hitters in baseball. And that was another thing today. You had a couple of opportunities. Max Muncy hits one that goes off the end of the bat. Will Smith at the end there goes off the end of the bat. Shohei Ohtani off the end of the bat. There was a couple moments there where it just wasn't their day, but that is the case. But Tanner Scott, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm big on expected stuff. I'm big on advanced nerdy stats, and those still say that he is going to be better than the results show. A 330 FIP, a 254 expected FIP, but his ERA is at 4.73. And he's gone 26 and 2/3 innings. He has 5 blown saves. Tonight he takes the loss. 2 losses on his ledger. And let's just be honest. Right now, the Tanner Scott signing does not look like a good signing. And I think the Dodgers already were in a position where they had to be aggressive just because you lose Evan Phillips. There's a lot of question marks about the relievers. At this point, I don't think there's a reason why they shouldn't go as big as they possibly can. If a Kyle Finnegan, if a David Bednar, if there's a top-level reliever available, I want to see the Dodgers in the mix for them. And that's not to say that Tanner Scott can't figure it out, but they need to give themselves a protection level, some insurance in case that it doesn't. Because this team is too good from a position player standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, to allow the bullpen, to allow pitching be its downfall. So it was a rough night for Tanner Scott. And I think, like I said, I think the solution, I really think at this point, is to kind of take a step back, right now so he's not thrown into those situations. Because last year, the dude was unhittable. Ask Shohei Ohtani. This year, he has not looked like that guy. He just is not commanding the fastball. The location is not there. When he misses in the zone, the stuff isn't good enough against big league hitters, and they're making him pay, and they've done that for most of this season. So they had to take a step back while they figure things out. But welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show, #1 post-game show on YouTube. Let's get to your comments, guys. I know this is frustrating. I know this is not what you want. Tone Loke says, Glasnow the cheerleader. Okay, we'll talk some Glasnow. Why is this guy protecting him? How does this look? I've literally said he's Tanner, not so great Scott, right? And there is a time and place to write someone off. But look, when Noah Syndergaard came and thought he was going to throw 100 again and then was throwing 93, you knew it was over. For Tanner Scott, it's closer than that. And I think that there is some fixable issues that can be corrected to make sure that he can help this team. But I will say, though, having said that for $72 million and being one of the highest paid relievers in the sport, you should hope for more than he's just helping this team. He should be a major part of why this team has success. Right now, though, he's a liability. And that's just the truth. That's not hating on a player. That's not being over the top. That's not a hot take. The truth of the matter is that right now, the Dodgers are not getting what they had hoped for the price they paid for Tanner Scott. I'm not saying he's a double agent from San Diego. I'm not saying that he is someone that got paid and is ready to hang him up and he's just, okay, I'm fine. I got my money. It's all good. They owe me money anyway. No, he wants to be that guy. But for tonight was the first night that I think that the Dodger Stadium crowd kind of let him know that, hey, this is LA. This is not Miami. This is not San Diego. If you don't have success, you're going to get booed, just like Kenley Jansen got booed. And the more that this mounts, the more that this becomes a part of the narrative of the season, the harder it is to get things to turn around. I still think it can. I have a lot of confidence that it will. But right now, I think that the way they're trying to get him back to where he needs to be hasn't been the right plan. And I think that hopefully when Michael Kopech comes back, it's going to be easier to not use Tanner Scott in every single high leverage situation. Remember, Evan Phillips is gone. Blake Trine's not there. Bruiser Gratterall's not there. So look, I think that the silver lining in all this is I think that this team is as all in as any team in professional sports when it comes to winning championships. And sure, they invested a lot in Tanner Scott, but I don't think at this point with the injuries that you could say that, all right, this bullpen is going to be completely healthy. They need to be aggressive at the deadline. And I think it's going to go a long way to determining the success of this team in the postseason. But okay, guys, keep reading your comments. Dave Roberts is talking down in the Dodgers media room, so we'll hear what Dave has to say about Tanner Scott. Let's read some more. Tanner Scott has become Scott Tanner. Wow, that is a good pull. That is a good pull for sure. But that is not. Hopefully that won't be the case for the remainder of the season. Hopefully, Tanner Scott so disappointed from Joel Puente, Robert Conforto, and Scott need to be off the postseason roster. DJ Vader, when is enough DMAC? Look, it's June 2nd. Enough will be enough when you see this for a couple more months. I mean, tonight he gives 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, a walk and a strikeout. And that's the thing, too. I mean, you look at the rest of his appearance tonight, and the at-bat for Nimmo, that's who he is. I mean, when he struck out Nimmo on 3 pitches, that's who he is. Challenging guys with a heater and throwing with conviction. And then he got Soto to ground out. He got ahead in the count. Got soft contact. He did walk Alonso on 7 pitches, falls behind the count, misses with the heater up arm side, misses with the slider arm side. So just from a mechanical standpoint, he's just not locating where he needs to locate. And then on the Vientos ground out, I mean, it's a slider middle. But it's also the hard contact. I mean, that is the concerning thing with Tanner Scott is the double to Francisco Alvarez, who is honestly, this is a very below average hitter, man. This ain't Aaron Judge or Lindor or any of these big name hitters. This is Francisco Alvarez. Had 108.5 mile per hour exit velocity. The single to Lindor, 102.5 mile per hour exit velocity. They are hitting rocket shots, tearing the cover off the baseball for Tanner Scott. And that is what continues to make this even that much more concerning. And you're really hoping that you see a turnaround in. And yeah, look, I mean, here's the thing too. Like it's and I'm curious to see if he's speaking right now. I want to come on and do the show from you guys. I haven't seen him yet. But look, I mean, this is a big market, man. It's a big market. And this is as passionate of a fan base as any fan base in Major League Baseball. You guys have a standard. You expect success. And if you don't get that success, you expect to hear why and get some answers. And right now, I think it's not a ton of answers. And I think that's also frustrating too. All right, so let's hear some more comments from you guys. Baja Blast says, calling him a liability is being nice. DJ Vader's on him. The Boo Birds from Adam 818. A super chat. Keep Kim at shortstop. Absolutely. I mean, he was really good. He was great. Yeah, Tanner Scott's talking right now, so we'll hear from Scott in a second here. So awesome. Sweet. And yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. Once a fluke, this from NS, once a fluke, twice a pattern, 3 is more of a habit. Jay Bullet, make Tanner Scott an innings eater like Honeywell. Tanner Scott couldn't close a nun's legs. Come on, man. Come on. Tanner Scott, you guys are crazy. Scott is a bust from Adrian Torres, Alex Renteria. Roberts was horrible tonight. Why wasn't Benny C in there instead of Tanner? Yeah, I mean, look, Ben Kasparius, I've told you that he has truly emerged as one of the best relievers in the sport. And look, I mean, the way that lineup shaped up and the way that it looked like in that situation, it was you've got Alvarez at the plate, and Alvarez is someone that you feel like Tanner Scott should be able to get out, right? But the thing about Alvarez, it's a righty matchup. And then you get through that righty matchup, and then that brings up Lindor. We know Lindor can switch on you. And then that brings up a Brandon Nimmo that bats left. And then you got up a Juan Soto. So that's all situations where you should be using your best high-leverage left-handed reliever in those situations. Only problem is the one they currently have is just not reliable. It's just not reliable. It's like the ice cream machine at a local McDonald's. I mean, you just can't count on it right now to be in running. And Aaron Robinson, if Kim doesn't start tomorrow, we ride. Yeah, how about that? I mean, let Mitch Lotta have full takes. I'll give you some Mitch Lotta have full takes. I mean, how could you just not love Ha-Seong Kim? All in on Ha-Seong Kim. I mean, you look at this game right here, and it's just he's just doing productive things. He's a catalyst. He is a spark plug, and just good things happen when he's out there. And when he was one of the guys, I mean, against Blackburn, he got a single to left there in the bottom of the 5th inning. And then late in the game, Ha-Seong Kim gets things going in the bottom of the 9th inning. He reached on an infield single that set up the Ohtani sacrifice fly. And that's the other thing, too. I mean, the offense had opportunities. I mean, Tommy Edman had a really good weekend against the Yankees. He was really starting to look like the Tommy Edman we saw early on in the season. Tonight, though, it wasn't a great day for Tommy Edman. I mean, he had multiple opportunities there. Bottom of the 6th inning, he's up at the plate with the bases loaded in a 2-0 game, and he expands the zone on a changeup. And then later in the game, he had an opportunity. Did he get that single? Did he get that single to start things off in the bottom of the 9th? So you got to give him credit there. He also stole second. But, yeah, then you jump to bottom of the 10th inning. He was at the plate with runners on the corners and a chance to just tie it up. And then he grounds out and hit a really hard rocket shot. It was goes right back to the pitcher on the ground out there. So you're seeing better contact from Tommy Edman. But, yeah, tonight, I mean, it's just kind of one of those nights offensively, you can't win them all, but still, I mean, like the last play of the game, the ground out in the 10th inning for Tommy Edman, it was 98 miles per hour off the bat, had a 440 expected batting average. The Shohei Ohtani sac fly there in the 9th inning, it would have been a home run in one park. I bet you can guess that park. Of course, it's the bandbox that is Houston with the Trastros. So, yeah, the offense didn't do enough. But the spotlight falls on Scott just because this was the opportunity for him to keep taking steps in the right direction. And instead, gave hard contact, gave up runs, and he has to step up there and find a way to have more success. But here was Tanner Scott after the game from the Dodgers clubhouse just minutes ago. Let's hear what Tanner Scott had to say about giving up those hits and not another good night for Tanner Scott.
We've obviously talked at length some of the frustrations that you're feeling just with a game like today. What do you think is kind of leading to the results as of now?
Missed locations, especially down in the zone to hitters that I'm supposed to be in different spots, and I'm just not hitting my location, and it's costing us.
Do you think that's something maybe mechanically on your side? Is it something that I guess maybe coaches are seeing at this point?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely probably mechanics, and it's happened too much, and it's frustrating, especially when we battle back and it didn't go my way.
How do you get out of something like this stretch?
Keep working. Look at everything. Talk to Mark, Connor, Bardo, and figure it out so it stops.
Tanner, anything you've noticed with your fastball and how it's playing right now?
Yeah, it's getting hit a lot, so it sucks right now. And last year I relied on it a lot, and this year it's been getting hit, and I'm missing locations.
Is the quality of the pitch where you need it to be, though, and it's just missed location?
I mean, if it's in the right spot, it usually doesn't get hit, and if I miss the location, it usually gets hit.
Yeah, and that's what we said on the top of the show. It's a location issue, right? Baseball like real estate. Location. And the location of that heater, if you look where the catcher sets up to where the ball ends up, he's missing by inches, arm side, glove side throughout. And the fastball has been a major weapon for him throughout his career. This year, it's absolutely getting pounded. And that is where they need to look, because last year, his four-seamer opponents were hitting 134 off it. They were slugging just 179. This year, opponents hitting 259, slugging 569 heading into tonight. Gave up a couple hits on that. Just is not locating, is not confident in it, and something needs to change. And he mentioned working with the pitching coaches, finding a mechanical adjustment. I think you go look at side-by-sides. I mean, the same swagger, the gusto, it's just not there. The confidence level is dipping, and you just wonder if it's the contract, it's the market, it's the pressure, and if any of that is getting to him. And I think he has the right mindset. It's about just continuing to work and doing whatever he needs to do to get back to the guy that was elite last season. But I think that the Dodgers have kind of made it seem the last couple of weeks that okay, let's just kind of have one good appearance, it builds from there. One good appearance, it builds from there. No, I think that you need a real plan for Scott other than, okay, let's just keep throwing him in these situations and hoping and praying that the Tanner Scott from yesteryear shows up. I don't think that is a good strategy. Hope is not a strategy, and you just can't hope for that. What you need to do is throw him out there in lower leverage situations so he can use those mechanical tweaks if they're just small to get more confidence back in the fastball and to get more confidence in the slider, and hopefully it goes from there. But the last thing I want to see is tomorrow or the next day, it's a 3-2 game, and let's throw him out there, and hopefully this is the time where he gets it. And after the game, Dave Roberts talks about, that was big for Scott in that situation. It's been a rough year, but having tonight's going to be big. I don't want to hear that. I think that you got to take a slice of humble pie a little bit and realize you got to take a step back to take a step forward. And I think that now it is more prevalent than ever. It's more obvious than ever they need to do that as well. But here was Dave Roberts after the game talking about the Dodgers' loss in extras and what he saw from Scott.
I think with Tanner, it's just mislocation. I think that it's, you look at the Alvarez, the Lindor was down, but it was middle. I just think it's just sort of just missing in the big part of the plate or the wrong part of the plate, given a particular hitter. And, my eyes and talking to our pitching guys, the stuff's good. It's just the command just isn't where it needs to be right now. It just seems like if probably so, if the stuff is there and you're not kind of finally commanding the baseball, that certainly does speak to mechanical issues, and it's probably really minute, but obviously making a big difference, because obviously the intent isn't to, go to the middle part of the plate where hitters like to swing the bat.
Obviously, you guys are kind of short-handed in the pen, but has it reached a point with him where he needs a reset or a softer landing spot in some of these games? Or?
Yeah, I think that there's also, we're still trying to win games, and obviously you have to look at who's available and, who can handle leverage and things like that. And I think, to be quite honest, we're relying a lot on two rookies. And so you got to give credit to Jack and Ben, but it's the other guys' responsibilities as well, who've been through the trials and had a lot more experience in those two players. So I just don't feel it's right to put everything on those two young players. I don't.
Do you feel like you have another option in closer?
Right now it's kind of how the game, plays out, and you try to get to the ninth inning with a lead. And we came back, fought back in the ninth today, and and in other games, you have to kind of pick matchups and who's throwing the baseball well and who you believe in and who can kind of manage that situation. And so there's not one particular closer right now, and I think I've shown that, using different guys and leverage and finishing games and things like that. But yeah, right now there is no dedicated closer.
If you're in a save situation the next couple games and the matchups on paper look favorable for Tanner, would you go to him still, or would you consider?
Yeah, I would. And I think that it's one of those things that sometimes we don't have the luxury always of having a reset for guys, given the inexperience, the usage of certain guys. But there are guys, there's a few guys that I feel comfortable finishing a game with, though. Yeah, Mookie was available.
With the pinch hit with Conforto and Smith, kind of how did that play out?
I was just kind of wanting to wait as long as I could to see if they were going to keep Castillo in the game, to potentially give Michael a different matchup with Budo. But at the end of the day, I was going to take my chance on Will getting a hit against a neutral Budo and then Tommy getting a hit.
For as long as Dustin's been here, does it surprise you that he has a career high in starts and innings pitched today?
I'm not surprised. I mean, he's worked hard to get back. He's been very efficient. I think that just the pitch mix has been really, really good. And I think the last few, Dalton's done a fantastic job with him. And, you know, he's strong. And so, you know, there's a lot more in there. And so not terribly surprised. But, yeah, it's interesting given his workload over the last couple of years. And I just realized that this is the most he's thrown. So, but I feel he's in a good spot physically.
There was Dave Roberts talking about Tanner Scott, and one thing I disagree with Dave on there is him saying that, okay, that he's hearing from the pitching coaches that the stuff is good and the stuff is the same. The stuff is not the same. The stuff isn't the same. When the velocity is down by 1 mile per hour almost, hitters have just that fraction of a second more time to make a swing decision, and then you couple that with bad location and command, then that's a recipe for blown saves. That's a reason why that he's being looked upon as someone that hasn't been a good signing so far, just because I think they need to get to the bottom of why this stuff isn't playing. I mean, I guarantee you that if he was throwing 96.1 miles per hour last season, the Dodgers would have given him $72 million, right? I mean, let's just be honest about that. And I see people saying, okay, he's going home, he's going to swim in money and this and that. Sure, but that's not what it's all about. I remember speaking to Tanner Scott early in the season. He said, hey, it's all about winning. He wanted to join a winning organization, and right now he is someone that is struggling. I just want to say a couple more things, and we'll kind of talk to some positive before we end the show, is I look at the bullpen. Kirby Yates is progressing well. Michael Kopech should be back at some point this week. I hope that him just being back at the big league level, pitching in front of 40, 50,000 fans will have him perform better than we've seen him during his minor league rehab stints. And hopefully he's going into this knowing that he could be the guy that he was last year. It's not going to happen overnight, but Ben Kasparius is the guy that I want to see out there in the high leverage situations late in the games until further notice. Anytime that you were considering Tanner Scott, I want to see Benny C right now while Tanner Scott gets another opportunity in a lower leverage situation to build some confidence, because the last thing I want is for this to just compound and things to get worse. And I think he does need a little tiny reset where he can just breathe and exhale a little bit to figure some things out. Now, the most positive development tonight is the fact that Dustin May, he had to start in June for the first time in his career. We had Dustin Mania in June, and now he had 61 2/3 innings pitched this season. That is a new career high. Can you believe that? His previous career high before this was 2020 in a 60-game season when he pitched 56 innings. Now he's at 61 2/3 innings. He has been solid. His ERA at 4.09, the FIP at 4.04, expected at 3.58. But he's been gutsy and gritty. And I think tonight it's another moment where May feels like, all right, I can do this for an entire season. And he bounced back from giving up the home run to Lindor early in this one. And he made some really, really big pitches in big spots. Top of the fourth inning, after he gave up a ground rule double to Soto and he hit Alonso. A couple batters later, he falls behind Beatty, and then he works himself back in the count. And then the sixth pitch of the bat, he strikes him out swinging with the sweeper, and he's Dustin May. Let's go! Going crazy off the mound. So, yeah, he's showing real signs. I mean, he really is. I mean, fifth inning, he gave up another run on a ground rule double to Nimmo, and there was some situations that could have led to big innings, but he has this ability to work around traffic, work around giving up hits. I think he's maturing as a pitcher. I think he is becoming not just a thrower, but a pitcher at this point. There's been an evolution to him. I mean, after they intentionally walked Soto to load the bases in the fifth inning, he got Alonso to fly out. Another big moment. In the sixth inning, He gave up a single to Baty with one out, and then he was still able to get out of that one. So was really impressed by Dustin May buckling down against a good Mets lineup, giving this team a chance to win. And I think that he's continuing to mature and take steps in the right direction. And the best part, too, he's playing. He's pitching, right? When Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Roki Sasaki, these guys dealing with injuries, Dustin May has been out there posting, and it's really helped give some balance and stability to this Dodgers rotation. So here was Dustin May talking about his outing and how this is a new career high for him in innings pitched in a season.
Dustin, when you look at just your outing today, obviously for them to start with that home run, how did you find settling in after that? Because it seemed like you kind of found your rhythm probably there until like that fifth inning.
Yeah, it's probably not best idea to start a game throwing a sinker kind of middle to one of the best players in the game. Probably a good thing that he took advantage of it, kind of settled me in, and felt like I started going. Fifth inning, just kind of some weak stuff, and then bad executed on a couple of throws, and then they took advantage of that as well.
Have you found just kind of now, months now into the season, kind of where you're at on the mound, just kind of rhythm and thing with your body? Do you feel like you're in a spot where you like to be? Because it seems like the results are now kind of more in a more consistent situation.
I feel like I'm in an okay spot. There's definitely some room to grow, but the biggest thing for me at this point, I'm healthy. I feel healthy, like there's no pain. It's my first time in June, so that's exciting for me. Yeah, just got to keep building off of it.
Did you know you set a career high in innings tonight for a season? And
yeah.
I mean, what has it been like to, like you said, kind of be healthy and be able to kind of work through things and build off starts and just kind of be out there and kind of keep building off things?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've been able to actually feel healthy and go pitch and compete. So just trying to remember what it felt like in 2019 when I was able to throw the full season and get all of the reps under my belt. It's kind of hard to feel the same things because it's a different body. It's a different way that I feel now than I did then. But it's a good thing to build off of.
What were you just kind of feeling after you got out of that jam in the fourth when you were coming off the mound on the strikeout to Baty?
Oh, it was just exciting. Definitely. I mean, we didn't have any runs on the board, so I wanted to try to keep it at one as long as possible because, like I said, I gave up a solo shot to start the game. It's never a good thing to do. But yeah, it was a big positive boost in my head.
How have you been kind of preparing to see how your body reacts this many innings into a season? Have you been asking around, getting help at all?
No, I mean, I feel good. I've been recovering very well. I've been doing my routine in between starts, what I did before. It's kind of the same as it has always been. It's just I'm not in pain. So that's kind of really where I'm at.
So I'm very happy for Dustin May, and I want to say this right here. Dustin May has been the second most important pitcher for the Dodgers this season behind Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's how dependable he is because of the fact that he goes out there and he eats innings and he can get hitters out at a high clip and he can go out there and battle and like he did tonight, give this team a chance to win. This season, Dustin May is averaging 5.61 innings per start. That's right behind Yamamoto, who's averaging 5.63. And yes, Yama had the short start yesterday, but Dustin May deserves a lot of credit for where the Dodgers are at. The Dodgers would not be in first place without Dustin May in the National League West. He has gone at least 5 innings, at least 5 innings in all 11 of his starts. I mean, give it up for Dustin Mania, man. And just a guy that's dealt injuries. He's been in his organization for a long time. He's under his final year of team control. To have the year that he's having, he's going to be a part of this team. And I know this for a fact. I just feel it in my bones that Dustin May is going to be someone that they're going to count on in the postseason. If that's a starter, that's a reliever, he is going to be someone that they are going to rely upon just because of the year that he's had. I don't know who has the voodoo dolls on the Dodgers, if it's Padres fans, if it's Astros fans. I don't know who it is, if it's Josh Reddick, but, I mean, the injuries are crazy. I mean, a nightstand took out Mookie. A shower took out Freddie. I mean, it's just crazy when you look at all of this competition and the fact that they're still in the position that they're at, even with all these injuries. And Dustin May, of course, This is a guy that almost died because of a piece of lettuce this offseason. So to see him have the success that he's having, it's something to feel really, really good about. Now, Dodgers will try to get back. I mean, the Dodgers have lost. They've already lost 3 games to the Mets this season, and they'll try to get back in the win column tomorrow with Clayton Kershaw on the bump, facing righty Tyler McGill on the mound for the Mets, 7:10 on Sportsnet LA and TBS. We'll take a couple more comments here, and then we will head out of this one. Thanks for rocking with us here. And hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers if you want to see a win tomorrow. Dodgers suck. Okay, well, that's interesting. What did it say? Tanner Scott's PayPal deposit from Padres will hit his account tomorrow. Bruh. Bilal K for sure. Dave Roberts will start Rojas tomorrow. Better not. Hashtag all Dodgers fans. Okay, got some people battling in the comments here. Prone to thrill. Tanner can't get anyone out. Dan T _beat2b. I have an idea for Tanner Scott. Have him hit by a pitch to 3, then take him out. Oh, come on now. HBP. May is trade bait for Skeens. LOL from Brian. I talked to multiple insiders for the Pirates over the weekend, and as of right now, they assured me that he's not getting traded. So anything you see Paul Skeens trade-wise, I mean, based on what I've been told is that he won't be traded. But if he does, yeah, I would love to see him on the Dodgers. But, yeah. We got Super Chat here. Sports Cards, Report Cards, $4.99. I trust Kike to save a game with a 1-run lead and the bases loaded with 0 outs than Scott with a 3-run lead with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Ouch. Hey, that's more of a compliment to Kike. I'm just going to take it that way. But no, it's telling. I got some more Super Chats. Appreciate you guys. MM Frere, 199. Phantom Ion for Tanner Scott and Conforto. Yeah, how about Conforto? I mean, getting pinch hit for by Will Smith late in that one to get the switch up. And look, Will Smith hit almost 500 runners in scoring position. I think Conforto in that situation would like to see him have an opportunity. He also had Mookie available. That was another opportunity for sure. But, yep, Dodgers lose a tough one tonight. Tanner Scott getting booed by the Dodger Stadium crowd. L.A. loses, allowed a 2-run. Tanner Scott allowed 2 run scoring hits there in the 10th inning. And he's allowed 12 runs in his last 6 innings. For the last couple weeks, he's been going through it. The Dodgers lose, but great thing about baseball is there's always tomorrow and another game for you to get back in the win column, and we will be locked and loaded at Dodger Stadium tomorrow. So look for me on Twitter and Instagram. Also, look for me after the game as well. And tomorrow we've got Dodgers Dugout Live. I got Aaron Bates, Dodgers hitting coach, Rob Parker from Inside the Parker. We'll also talk to Jeff Fletcher, covers the Angels, talking about Shohei Ohtani's pitching. But that's going to do it, guys. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. And remember, most importantly, nothing, absolutely nothing, wins, losses, nothing brings together quite like a Dodger baseball game. Nothing like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.